Hi guys, welcome back to another daily tarot card. These are your daily tarot cards for Thursday, August 25th, 2022, Throne Thursday. Today we're pulling from the Game of Thrones tarot cards. So it looks like you've successfully gone through, I don't know if this is a test. I don't think it's necessarily called a test. I feel like this is holding true to your integrity. This is what Spirit has been talking about since January. Are you going to hold true to who you are? Or are you going to let other things step in your path and change who you are? We already have our book of life, and it's like we come to these fork in the roads. What are you going to choose? And that's how you evolve forward. You know what I mean? With myself, it's just like, am I going to am I going to stop and sacrifice a certain situation and put my energy into what I always have, is with my faith and my children? Absolutely. You know what I mean? I've done that since the dawn, they've been born, before they were even born. You know what I mean? And that's who I'm always going to be, you know? So this could be you giving up something, and you sacrifice something in your life for something that's important to you. You know, maybe some people may like, oh, why'd you do that? But you know what I mean? Because it doesn't have any um, value, like money or anything like that. But to you, that is more valuable than precious gems. What you did the right thing. So they're saying moving forward, we were talking about this yesterday, packing up your bags. So they're saying, things that bring in feng shui, the things that will sit there and improve the home. You know what I mean? So I was talking about, they're showing with IG, like there's a banister that's in our going upstairs, and just wiping it down and cleaning it and everything. It's taken off the paint, so it's back to the raw wood. They never put a finish on it, or the paint didn't have a finish on it. So I got some paint that has like a nice gloss finish, and I want to repaint it. I just haven't had the time to do it, and it's been too hot. But it's like something small like that that will bring you great joy. You know what I mean? Because you sat there and you put the time and effort into doing something, to a lot of people like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, even if you're renting, whatever it is, it's just like, that's your home. That's your sanctuary. That is your feng shui. That's where you feel safe. That's what, you know what I mean? You try to make it as welcoming as possible to everybody that lives there. So they walk in and it's just like, they feel like that, like it's a hug kind of. They feel comfortable, So they're talking about here, maybe a dream property coming in. We have the 10 of coins, so celebrating. Didn't they say that? Now we're going to have a time of rest and time for celebration. 10 of coins. You know what I mean? So I feel like, that this joyous time is coming in. This tower moment, is it over? In our case, not necessarily, but it's taken a positive, drastic turn by the grace of God, because Shabbat crying over this, prayers every night crying over this. It's just like, it's been on my mind. It's taken over my dreams. Thank God, it's taken a positive turn. You know what I mean? Because I feel like this is something we're always gonna work on. It's something I deal with, that his dad has dealt with. So you know what I mean? It's just like, at least I was paid attention when it was brought to my attention and acted on it. You know what I mean? If that other thing in my life has left, that's fine. You know what I mean? Because I can never. Children are priceless. I don't care who you are. Depending who you are. To me, my children are priceless. You know what I mean? I've sacrificed before for them, and I will do it again. I don't care. We have the Ace of Spears, so this rebirth in our life. Fiery energy. We love that. I definitely feel like Mercury. They're talking about communication. Maybe communication gets better here, but I feel like that fiery energy where we're absorbing those emotions, all this, we got a lot of water, when we were talking about, the moon, you know what I mean? Calling in her tribe, we always get that wolf moon in January, reestablishing boundaries, you know what I mean? But this is also calling back people that have drifted away. You know what I mean? It's like, hey, come on. We're still a tribe, even though you've wandered and gone off on your own journey. Come back in. Changing our perspective. So I feel like with this of rebirth, I feel like in the case of love, someone from the past has changed their perspective, and this has the wheel turn, and you guys are reunited, with the lovers. Or this could be like, maybe you two talked about doing a partnership together, you know what I mean? And they're just like, maybe this is not the time. Maybe COVID kept you guys apart. Here you are now, the stuck situation has moved forward, and now it's time to be with your soulmate. We've talked about this before. So literally, I forgot to post the photo for Instagram showing that the daily for Wednesday was up. So I posted that. I posted technically today's Tuesday, so I posted today's forecast that I get from Spiritual Healing, I think they're called, on IG. And I saw this post where they're showing two entities, and they're talking about how if the two of you are meant to be together, like it's just like from the moment you guys saw each other, you guys just clicked. You know what I mean? And you can literally hear that click. So it's just like you guys fit together. You know what I mean? So hopefully that's what it is. And if it's not, then it's okay. You know what I mean? Sometimes we have to put things down for, other situations to be better in life. But in my eyes, it's like I had children. I chose to have these children. I wanted children for the longest time since my nephew was born, since I was 21. I wanted kids. As soon as he was born, it just changed everything. I was dead set not to have kids. I was just like, not for me. As soon as my sister gave birth to her son, that was it. It was over. Me and him were like peas and carrots. Saturday, I'm off. I got up. I would, take him from my sister, let her sleep in, and me and him would hang out till 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I'd sit there, go walk the dog, give the baby to my mom. I'm like, can you watch? I'm going to go walk the dog. She's like, yep. Did I do the best job? Probably not. You know what I mean? I don't remember like a lot of that. Not that I was drunk or anything. It's just I don't remember because I was like half asleep or, I probably could have done more or something. I just, first child in the house like that. So it was just like, I would never trade for anything. That was hard for me to move out when he was a baby. That was hard, Still, I still look at him as a baby even though he's 20 soon. He's 20 this weekend. It's hard to think about that. Like, this little, I feel close to him some ways like that, but I even told my sister that was the hardest thing for me is to move out of the house and not see his little face every day, So anyway, going to the Tower card, destruction, chaos, breakthrough, illumination, revelation, shock. Yeah, definitely this was a shocking situation. It was and it wasn't. I even said that to Shane. We were sitting on the couch one day and I said, that's something we have to keep an eye on as we go forward. I said, with the kids, I said, because both of us have gone through these situations and it's just like, we thought it would be a different dynamic because both of us were aware of it. Plus both of us were, loving parents. He, played soccer with them, played video games with them, watched horror movies together, Walking Dead, all these, he would craft with them, you know what I mean? So it's just like he did a lot, did pumpkin carvings and stuff with them. They always love being around their dad. You know what I mean? That's like something I can never give them back, but hopefully someone loving in our life will come in when the time is right and be that, I'm not saying they'll ever be able to fill those shoes, but at least, bring that part of their life back, so that the way they have that sense of, masculine, energy in their life where that support system besides myself, because I'm pretty sure they're sick of me by now. So a shocking event, sudden change. When reversed, the Tower suggests self-blame, taking responsibility for events that were beyond your control. You may come to accept that certain aspects of your life had to change at some point. Let them go. I feel like with this, it was just, with him, he's definitely like his dad where he keeps everything inside. And then it all just comes to the surface. And you're just like, whoa, where did that come from? You know what I mean? So I feel like in that way, it's just like, I'm glad we acted. We already had things in place to prevent that. You know what I mean? But I just feel like they were... how would you say that? I can't articulate a word for it, but it's just like we had things in place to make sure that, certain things were in place so that kind of, scenario wouldn't happen. And the person that we have is just a nut. You know what I mean? So it's just like, thank God I'm knowledgeable enough and they bless me with knowledge of what to do in different situations. So, I just feel like with him, it's just like, because I said those things, it just took someone else to say it to him that actually knew what they were doing and taught him exactly how I've been talking to him for years. And it just clicked. And I said, I get the same thing in a certain situation where one, very knowledgeable, exactly what they've been saying. I don't know why it was different. I guess because uh, she articulated it different. It just clicked, and I'm like, nothing against you. You're doing exactly what you're supposed to be doing, but it's just, I don't know why it clicked differently. It's weird. So projects, prosperity, acclaim, early success. So we love that with the 3 of coins. Your good work gets attention. So projects and other enterprises receive praise and support. So we were talking about the spotlight. This creates a shift in how others see you. So be prepared for congratulations and maybe a touch of envy as you successfully complete a key phase that sets you up for the future. So we definitely had the world, and it's just like that has come, it's like you learn what you need to learn from that situation, and now it's time to move forward. Now it's time to turn the page and be on to the next thing. This card also favors property. You may be working on improving your home. Like I was saying, like, something small, like, you know what I mean? Like, we have a banister on one side and there's not a banister on the other, but when your hands are full, for me, I've fallen down enough stairs for my lifetime. You know what I mean? And it's just like when I'm not able to hang onto the banister or just have my hand just on it, to just, God forbid, in case I can clutch onto the banister and, try to break my fall. It's just like we put our body against the other wall, right? Just so that way we can have that security there. Because it's all wood and metal stairs. It's just like, it would not be a nice fall. So it's just like, where you're able to, so it's like washing that wall down. You know what I mean? Because you can see where people have walked up and down. So it's just like something small like that. I don't know, for me, I don't know, OCD, I don't know. It's just like little change like that. It just, I don't know. It just brings back the feng shui. So going to the 3 of coins. As you successfully complete a key phase and it sets you up for the future, this card favors property. So you may be working on improving your home. So talking about that again. Sorry, I didn't mean to repeat myself, but sometimes I forget to read things. So 10 of coins. Wealth, happiness, consolation, family, marriage. This joyful 10 shows consolidating wealth and sharing love. With no harm to none. And this card meanings include relationship, commitment, marriage. So relationship, commitment, you know what I mean? When we hear that could be like, if you're already in a relationship, that could be like if you're on a probation and you're working towards getting full-time, it could be meaning that way. Something like with a commitment, like a legal commitment. When you think about, marriage commitment, that's a legal commitment. So wedding gifts, inheritance, strong ties across the generations, a close relationship circle, relationships and investments mature. Additional meaning includes good advice from older people and finding your dream home. Love that. So with no harm to none again, because they're saying inheritance, you got to be careful when you ask for money, that you don't want anyone to, get harmed. There's something that I saw on TikTok that I do, and I write on the back of it, with no harm to none. I don't want anyone to get hurt for, the universe is abundant, as they say. It may not come in one lump sum. It may come in increments. There's nothing wrong with that. But you don't want to sit there and just leave it like that. You don't want to have someone pass in your life and, you get some sort of funding that way. Heck no. Mm-mm. So with the Ace of Spears, beginnings, drive, desire, ideas, fertility. So we got the Ace of Spears couple times, this rebirth in our life, and that's why I feel like it's turning the page. You know what I mean? I don't feel like this is a chapter. Definitely this tower moment in myself, maybe hopefully by the grace of the universe, God, divine creator, whomever you believe in, it's just like that moment is over. But I feel like for myself, I feel like it's a lull. I feel like that, like, it's not as potent as it was. I definitely feel like it's, you got to keep an eye on it, but I feel like they were showing, I'm going to share this. They were showing Bran for IG. So they're saying, look at what happened with Bran. He was thrown from the tower and he ended up paralyzed. They used the C word. I'm not using it. I think it's I try to, you know, articulate myself in proper, respectful ways. So they used the C word, and I was just like, okay. And they said, look how he evolved from that situation. You know what I mean? He got depressed about it. Of course, who wouldn't be? He was a child that was running, and now, unfortunately, he's. They're showing how Tyrion would call him that. You know, they would call him, words that are not appropriate for little people. You know what I mean? So he would in turn call him the C word. And they had that little banter go back and forth. But look who he evolved into. The one-eyed raven. You know what I mean? So he evolved. It's like, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's sometimes in life, especially tower moments. That's how we evolve. Even though this caused a tragedy or it disrupted our life, we are propelled forward in a certain thing. You know what I mean? And I feel like, when they're talking about the Page of Cups, it's Bran holding that cup. They're talking about intuitive, indigo children. Does this mean your child is going to push forward into that? Who knows? Maybe. You know what I mean? But it's unfortunate that we have to go through these situations and these experiences to sit there and speak from a place of truth. I can't sit there and talk to widows and widowers about loss and how that feels unless I experience it. Yes, I lost my dad, but this was gut-wrenching. Losing Shane. You know what I mean? Like, I saw him, from when I saw that image of two people on either side of him carrying Shane up the stairs, you know what I mean? Like, I thought it was our boys. Maybe if it would have happened at home and if he would have listened to me and stayed home that day, that could have been the paramedics carrying him up the stairs. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I always said I didn't want him to become a cop because I was afraid that, he would get hurt. I was like, I don't want just 10 years with him. I want a lifetime with him. And in saying that, I remember saying that to his parents at his home, at their home. And it's just like, saying those words, and it's like, fast forward, that's exactly how long we were together. It's 10 years, in a physical form. I know, whatever, not going to go into that, but you know what I mean? It's just like, it took that situation to propel me into where I always was supposed to be. I've seen things, I've heard things, since a child, and took that crap since I was a child to push me towards these things, I guess. I don't know. But I can't speak of things if I haven't experienced it, and it's horrible. I never wish that anyone that had we all have these abilities. I just don't want people to go through such events to be in that kind of situation. You know what I mean? So fiery energy, inspiration, communication are the gifts of the ace. It's a great omen for success and new work, business, creative ventures, and travel. Clear purpose and driven drive achieve your desires. As the wand is a symbol of male fertility, the card also shows starting a family. Additional meaning is commitment from a male partner. That's where I feel like, commitment in a male partner, it could be in that way with the lovers. You know what I mean? If that's the dynamic. If you're looking, they're saying specifically male partner. Or a partner period. You could be getting a commitment from a partner. But, like we were talking about that wedding, commitment. It could be a legal commitment. You know what I mean? The lovers isn't just love. It could be that I know some, who was it that I met and we just clicked? Well, there's quite a few of them. But there was one specific and it was just like we got each other. That was it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, you have those relationships in your life. It's just like from day one, boom, So it's like you heard that, I could hear that click. So, maybe things are falling into place if you've been waiting for love. They said you're ready to be with your soulmate, so who knows? So time suspension, waiting, transition, protection, revels, sacrifice. While the hangman reveals waiting for decisions or change in circumstances, he also invites you to take a different view of the situation, as you could find an intuitive solution. Ask you to rethink an objective as being unrealistic. So funny enough, we got the Seven of Cups. A broadened interpretation is wasting your time. You may need to walk away rather than waiting much longer for a decision to be made. I feel like, sometimes I know one person in particular, Oh, I have this option. They use insecurity to manipulate others. I can do this, I can do that, I can do that. And it's like the universe kept on banging them back. And it's just like, I don't relish in it at all. But it's just like, you used to threaten certain people with these situations, and more they're realizing the reality of the situation. It's like all the um, situations or scenarios you thought were going to be in your favor. Think again. You know what I mean? And that's karma. You know what I mean? It's like you're being pushed back because of how you've carried yourself over the years. You know what I mean? Threatening people, manipulating people, gossiping, talking down about people, and now it's all come home to roost. You have no one to blame but yourself. You can't blame no one for this. I feel like with the Hangman, they're showing the Seven of Cups and saying like you don't have as many options as you thought you did. With the Hangman reverse, I feel like changing of the perspective. I feel like celebrations. I feel like with this Tower moment, manifestations are coming in. With it in reverse, I feel like the sacrifice they were talking about before you made. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's that fork in the road. Are you going to sit there and do something selfishly for yourself and ignore the situation at hand and let that fall, whatever it's going to fall? Or are you going to sacrifice and take the other road, the road less traveled is what they're saying, and sacrifice your, self-sacrifice so that way it could propel these people forward. You know what I mean? You always hear, like I was talking, Mrs. Simpson is one teacher I really like, Mrs. Krishoni. Um, you know, these are certain, Mrs. Nichols, I know she got married after that. Mrs. Lane, I know she had an EA that was with her. I can't remember her name, but it's just like certain people in your life, really sit there and touch your life in such a way where you could sit there and be like, they, help me move forward in certain ways, or like, with music or whatever it may be. You know what I mean? It's just like, pushing you in that way. So I feel like in this, it's like, they will always say like they had my back the whole time. You know what I mean? I feel it in my case, it's like generational. You know what I mean? How are you? That's why I used to get mad at Shane. It's like if you're carrying on that generational garbage, they said that to you, and now you're saying it to them, and I'm like, it stops here. No way. I'm not going to stand for it. So Wheel of Fortune, stuck situation gets moving. We've talked about this since the beginning of the year. Fate, destiny, law, divine law, opportunity, luck, change. Everything improves when the Wheel of Fortune is in a reading. Finances, work, home, life, career, relationships. You also benefit from chance meetings and reconnect with people who live far away from you. So they're saying with this person, it's not someone you think it is. It's gonna surprise you who this is. So we'll see what happens. You also benefit from chance meetings, reconnect with people who live far away from you. Opportunities for success come your way. The card invites you to manifest your wishes through affirmations and action, and to broaden your knowledge. Overall, you gain a wider perspective of your place in the world. Psychic work, But I definitely feel like whoever that Page of Cups is in your life from January, that's exactly what they were doing. When they showed me, when I was reading for IG before I recorded this, that's exactly what they're talking about. Brand being pushed out by him going through that tragedy in his life, he got propelled forward to be that put him in the path to be who he became. You know what I mean? So it's just like through that experience, he was able to sit there and be literally pushed into the path of becoming the One-Eye Raven. You know what I mean? He went through a lot of tragedy. He lost his family. He lost siblings. He lost his home. All those things. You know what I mean? At that moment, it feels like crap. It really does. Maybe you are going through a defining moment where it's like, ugh. You know what I mean? Like, I cannot believe this is a part of my story. But it's like, you know what? At that moment, it feels that way. Yeah, you're always going to feel some sort of way about those events. But the thing is, one day you'll be able to talk from a place of experience to someone else and help them out of that situation, not to make the mistakes you did. I even told my kids that. I'm like, when you used to sit there and watch, your YouTubes and everything, I said, didn't it bring you happiness? Yep. And I'm like, when you do your thing, I said, you're going to be a place of happiness for someone else. I said, so you're paying it forward. Those people were there for you when you needed it, and you're going to do the same for others. I said, you'll be able to talk from a place of that because you've experienced it. You're not talking out of your butt like some people do. You're talking from a place of experience. Yeah, it sucks. You know, I never would. I told my kids if I could change this situation, I would. You know what I mean? But we don't know what that situation would look like. You know? So it's just like, gotta sit there and keep moving forward with the hands you've been dealt. You can't let it, yeah, in the moment it feels like garbage and you're gonna feel your feelings. Yes, feel your feelings. But do everything you can to sit there, dust yourself off, and get back up again. So with the lovers, love, attraction, decision, maturity, growth. A choice between two lovers. Ooh. Remember we got that with the 3 hearts? And I said, I think you're going to have multiple suitors. Uh-huh. Isn't that how it always happens? When reversed, the card shows that lust wins over love. Ooh, but that's reversed. The lovers... That's why it's just... I sat there and I thought of this situation where it's like, this, all of a sudden, this ass that's been like, kind of like, puh. Not like, puh. It's just no action. You know what I mean? And I said, I want to get married. I want to have kids. And I said, he's not a partier and anything like that. But I'm like, do you really want to party when you have, well, everybody's different for me. But it was just like, you know what I mean? Like, I wanted that family life. You know what I mean? Like, so I was just like, okay, so I made the decision to be in a relationship with this person, had 2 kids, So it was just like, I feel like don't rush into things, get to know people. But the thing is, it's just like I said earlier in the week, the person that I fell in love with, and when he became that, business person in the private sector, it was 2 different people. You know what I mean? It's, if you watch This Is Us, she says it to Toby. Who I fell in love with and who you became when you became a business person are 2 different things. And yeah, he was like, oh, you resent me and did it. No, I don't resent you. It's just you're not who you used to be. And he's like, oh, no, either are you. And it's just like, no, we're growing. But sometimes, unfortunately, that happens in relationships. We evolve, and it's like, they don't click anymore. Lovers brings love and decisions to commit to a relationship or a new venture with an open heart, or to sacrifice an opportunity that cannot grow. Consider the long-term impact of your choices rather than the short-term gain. Yep. If single, this card can predict new love partnership. It can ask you to if you're ready for love. A choice between 2 lovers. But I feel like, with this home thing, I feel like if it's a commitment with an employee, like, when we think about lovers, it's a verbal commitment. You want to be my girlfriend, you want to go steady, boyfriend, you want to be, in a relationship, whatever the scenario is. And it's just like, a verbal contract. That's what I talk about. When they talk about engagement, a verbal contract. When they talk about marriage, a commitment. You know what I mean? So that could be in work. That could be in life. Buying a home, a lease, something like that. You know what I mean? If you're already in a relationship, or it's just like, well, I'm not talking to anybody. Well, there's something that's coming up that's going to be a verbal agreement. Someone makes a promise to you, or they sit there, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. And then it turns into a contractual agreement. You know what I mean? Just like a probation period. You know what I mean? If you will. We agreed that, you're going to do X, we're going to do X. And then if it works out, then we'll make a contractual agreement. You know what I mean? So they were showing with Shane that he was, what'd they call him? There was a bunch of them that were like that. It wasn't a probation. He did more than his fair share. But he would, they would sit there and it's like I think he was like a yearly contract or something like that. I can't remember what it was called. But he was on that for a bit, and then he finally, went to his boss and he's like, okay, enough, either shit on the pot or get off. Like, what are you doing with me here? He's like, yeah, I'm working on it. And he got him, like to be a full-time employee so he wouldn't have to deal with, like, that's a lot. You know what I mean? To sit there and are you going to be signed on or are you not? You know what I mean? I can't remember what it's called, but that's what they're bringing up. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, come on. Like, what are you doing? Nobody wants to be like that, No one ever wants to be in that position. So, they're saying Shane was too good for that place. I always told him that. I'm like, you do the job of freaking 6 people. He's like, no, I don't. And I'm like, yes, you do. You have no idea what you do. But, what can you do? So I hope you guys enjoyed these daily tarot cards for Thursday, August 25th, 2022. Throne Thursday. May the universe bless you good. We'll see you for the next daily tarot card.